For a movie that is only 94 minutes long, I sat down to watch this film with a good friend. Today, that friend is dead! They're not really.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Okay, Mr. Daddy.
Voice speaking. Keep repeating.
It's only a movie.
Today's subject for examination, 1973's 7 Deaths in a Cat's Eye. I considered doing this entire review in Scottish. However, having reviewed the footage, I can't say in any good faith that it was in Scottish, considered or otherwise.
No, mister, I'm used to these stairs, bringing up supplies for the kitchen twice a week.
I'm glad someone does.
So you can see it isn't hardship for me.
So what have we got for you today? It's set in a castle. I like castles. It's a Scottish castle. The least Scottish looking castle I've ever seen. We also have bats, rats and cats. What else could you possibly want from a gothic giallo? It's got a murderous cat, potentially. It's got a gorilla. What can go wrong? On the credits, this film is down as being directed by Anthony M. Dawson. Don't look him up because there is no Anthony M. Dawson. Actually, this is directed by Antonio Margheriti, who had already at this point directed gothic horrors The Castle of Blood and Long Hair of Death, both of which starred Barbara Steele in the early to mid-60s. This isn't a huge leap for him stylistically. He always had a wonderful handle on being able to create that gothic, almost that early Hammer 90s, late 50s, early 60s Hammer gothic look that the Italians were inspired by, copied, in the early 60s. So what we actually have here is a traditional old dark house mystery thriller. Think Cat and the Canary, The Cat Creeps, The Old Dark House, Laurel and Hardy's Murder Case, The House of Long Shadows. Think any of these films where, for whatever reason, a family are together in an ancestral home, there is a curse, people start to die, people aren't sure whether it's vampires, killer cats, killer family members, insane people, or a gorilla. I need to get back to the gorilla. The family are the McGrief family. McGrief. Couldn't write it. Someone did. The matriarch's daughter, Coringa, is returning from boarding school and is met by a house where people are dropping like flies. There are a number of Scottish retainers and locals who talk of curses, and there would appear to be 2 curses. One curse is around the cat.
I do. When a cat follows a dead person, that person's a vampire.
Stop that.
Cats, and there's something about cats, something about vampires, something about coming back from the grave.
The legend, Father Robertson, says that when a McGrief murders a blood relation, the latter does not die but turns into a vampire.
A plethora of curse-related material. All of the victims are murdered under the watchful gaze of their ginger, fluffy cat, who is played a little bit like the psychotic twin of Garfield. Big, fluffy, with very starey evil eyes. The cat appears, and it seems to be implicated, certainly in the early murders. As time goes on, with a slice to the throat, it becomes less likely that we're actually looking at murders committed by a cat. Cats do not have opposable thumbs. Cats do not kill people. People with cutthroat razors and black gloves kill people. The entire family seems to be eccentric, odd, or plain balmy. Chief amongst the crazy members of the family is Coringa's cousin, James. As well as deciding to live his life as some sort of a third-rate Lord Byron, disdainfully looking down his nose at all and sundry, also deigns to keep a pet orangutan.
Right turn, Clyde.
I say orangutan. more specifically a supporting artist in an ill-fitting monkey costume.
Monkey? Monkey? I'm a fucking gorilla, you clown!
Okay, not a monkey costume, a gorilla costume. Either way, the introduction of the gorilla is a bit of a what the fuck moment. As far as what the fuck moments in Giallo go, this is probably my biggest one to date. I don't want to say whether or not the gorilla did it. However, the gorilla is referred to as being insane, and a murderous gorilla. Between the inclusion of the cat and the inclusion of the gorilla, it at least appears as though someone had just read the collected works of Edgar Allan Poe. The producers have clearly decided that Giallo will not sell on its own, that Gothic will not sell on its own, and so decided to throw Gothic, Giallo. At some point I'm sure there's a kitchen sink in it. I'm pretty sure the kitchen sink didn't kill anyone. Other house guests include a randy bisexual language teacher who's having an affair with Anton Diffring's doctor, who is also supposed to be having a relationship with the matriarch's sister. It looks sumptuous. A Hammer Gothic aesthetic filtered through the colour palette of a late 60s, early 70s Italian Gothic. Once you get past the accents, and it is quite difficult to get past the accents, although they do bring some light relief, and at times that light relief is quite welcome. Despite the number of deaths, despite the vampire subplot, and the ongoing curse, after the first third of the movie, everything becomes melodrama, everything slows down. It just becomes boring. The murderer, when they're revealed, is another who? What? Why? This comes at 1973, which in the pantheon of the main thrust of Giallo, 1970 through to 73, which is at the height. We're now in the tail end. Everything has its time, and that time is normally dictated to, by some degree, by how desperate the material gets, how repetitive it gets. It feels as though the producers had decided to literally throw everything they could possibly think of at this movie. Unfortunately, it's not enough. It looks wonderful. It's beautiful to look at. If you love Gothic, 1960s Gothic movies, it's definitely worth a look. As a Giallo, again, this is not a Giallo that I would be suggesting anyone coming new to the genre would jump right in, because you will jump right in, see the gorilla, and jump right back out again. You will jump in with both feet, and you will jump immediately out with both feet. This is a film that people who have maybe seen a lot more Giallo, people who love the genre for all its failings, people who love certainly Gothic European movies from the 60s and 70s, this is worth a watch. It's not essential. As to its score, I'm going to give this... It's going to get a 2.5. If this was not Gothic and did not have the labyrinthine corridors, the hidden doorways, if it didn't have the catacombs and the musty old tombs and the fog-shrouded grounds, if this didn't have that, we'd be looking at a 2. However, there is enough in it that it's worth a 2.5. Had they sorted the pacing issues out in this movie, the tension in this film is maintained and works very well for the first third. The opening of the film has quite a gory scene where an individual is murdered under the ever watchful eye of the ginger cat. After they're murdered, set upon by the rats. The cat seems to have no interest in killing the rats. Clearly, whoever's feeding the cat is doing too good a job. This is a fat cat, watching with interest as the rats devour the face of the person who's just been murdered. It's a wham bam thank you man opening. It makes you go, whoa! It loses its way badly, and by the second half, you just feel like the Monty Python team.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it!
So 2.5, it's worth a watch. The big guns are being rolled out. Next time, Sergio Martino's suspicious death of a minor. See you next time.